Hey, what's up guys, this is Oakley, and CA continues to drop news bombs all over the place. This one is going to be appearing on the Total War Wiki. It's going to be covering and they call it a shed load. But yeah, they're going to be covering a lot of information regarding lords and heroes, but they do put a disclaimer up at the top, and I like their transparency here, stating that what they're going to cover here, the information is liable to change. This is, again, very much a work in progress, and that you shouldn't take everything as it being locked in place. And they actually even say here, if you would rather not hear about features that might change, please look away now. So yeah, but I think what you're going to see is very interesting. So they start off with the heroes. This is going to be the first of the characters. The heroes are going to be mortal, and they perform very much the actions of agents we've seen before, who can move around and do strategic functions on a campaign map, assassinate, sabotage, and so forth. They also have the ability to invest their experience into 3 different trees: strategic, tactical, and battle. That's something we covered before. And these guys actually, just like your other, lords and legendary lords, the heroes can also be on the battlefield themselves. So you can equip them with different weapons, magical abilities. You can become a hybrid, like an Empire Warrior Priest, which is a hybrid of melee and magic. So you could choose both paths or a middle path. And then you can get these guys into the battle and stick them into the battle. Again, this is nothing particularly new. And I think it's just an awesome touch to the title. Next, they're going to be moving on to the lords, and in the background is what they present at EGX. Already, it seems like they've changed the roles a little bit. The protagonist role seems to be gone. In this one here, they talk about the generals. So one of the roles your lord can take is the general. And as a general here, it's very interesting. They say they can lead armies around the campaign map and in battle, inspiring and bolstering troop morale. And then take a look at the next sentence. Every army requires a general in order to deploy on and move around the campaign map. So that's interesting. People were speculating that maybe they'll go back to the previous way of doing things, but it seems like very much they're building off of the current way of playing, which is Rome to an Attila. Then they talk about the generals here, who are considerably more combat oriented than the other guys, and they can be either melee or magic. So as it was said before, you have 3 choices: the general, the admiral, or the overseer. If you go for general, expect to get stuck in. Melee lords are hardier, more powerful fighters. You'll want to make use of their prowess on the battlefield. They can operate like hybrids of the two, with strengths in both melee and magic, or you can do one or the other. The next main role of a lord is going to be the admiral role, and they can lead your fleets. They did say here that this time around, the naval engagements will be auto-resolved, given how land-based focused Warhammer is. We've concentrated on these being the land battles. That's too bad, because the naval battles definitely have a very fantastical element to them. You can see in the background just how crazy this can start to get, so I do hope that in the future they will have the ability to, lay the base for land battles, and then maybe in the second or third in the series, move on and really bring these naval battles to life, because once you get creatures like this in the background, it really breaks the stalemate of what we've seen previously. Now, the third role of the lord is going to be the overseer. These are assigned to a province to govern, reacting to challenges by handing down commandments, so that's kind of like the edict, to direct the efforts of the populace, and through the application of their own skill. So very much like the provincial governors in Rome and Attila with the edicts, under a different name, it would appear. Here they say, should the provincial capital be attacked, the overseer will personally lead the garrison troops in their efforts to defend the walls. That's to be expected, but this last sentence, again, very interesting. Though garrisons in general would be better equipped to deal with enemy forces regardless. So it seems like they've taken to making cities much beefier. This is a very short sentence, but it seems to indicate that the garrisons will be very much harder to fight, and that they will pack a punch, because in the world of Warhammer, we have so many fantastical elements and crazy stuff on the battlefield, giants, trolls. You would hope that your cities would be prepared for that. So I don't know if that means the garrison forces themselves, or just the defenses of the city in terms of like catapults and siege equipment for the defense. Next, they move on to legendary lords. At the top, I'm showing EGX, where it's the 3 branching skill trees, and then the 4th that is in addition to the legendary lords, which with unique character skills. This is a skill tree that you can kind of put your skill points into. You unlock quests by completing those quests. You then do sort of a narrative driven thing. So, for example, Balthasar Gelt, who they introduced, he will have, and this applies to all legendary lords, each legendary lord will have their own special unique skills quest line that they can follow that will drive the narrative for that character, and that definitely defines that playstyle, because they did, in a previous video I covered this, they did announce that there are 2 legendary lords for each of the various factions, and you choose between those. So they say, for example, if you choose Ungrim Iron Fist, he levels up and you can put the skill points into the unique skills branch. He'll begin to unlock the quests that are unique to Ungrim. These quests will take you through a series of tasks and battles and culminate in quest battles, the kind of bespoke, handcrafted battles we've been showing off recently. So Blackfire Pass, Thundering Falls. The reward will be one of the legendary magic items. So you'll be able to customize a bunch of this. It says, once you get an item, it can't be lost by your lord, and you might accrue a lot of these items, and so you have to choose which one you have to equip. It says here all characters, so not just legendary lords, but also lords and heroes, will have kind of a slot for 6 magic items, and that will include armor, weapons, enchanted items, arcane items, and talismans, which is awesome. So you're going to be doing a lot to flesh out your characters. And something that they say here, in some cases, you can even get these items by defeating enemy lords, so presumably stripping their bodies to get some of their awesome equipment. And that lends a lot more to like hero duels, where you seek out enemy army and you not only defeat the enemy army, but you claim his armor for yourself. That has such a cool story element to it. I'm really excited about that. Legendary lords starting a campaign. What does it mean? We had previously maybe thought about legendary lords choosing between the two would start you off at a different place in the battlefield. They didn't quite talk to that theory yet. Now, they haven't confirmed or denied it, so it's up in the air. But what they do say is by choosing different lords, it will bring different benefits, positive or negative, to your campaign. So it's very much like Attila in Rome 2, where you choose a faction and then you choose sort of your clan or your ruling body, and those will come with different perks. Now, they did also say that legendary lords, say you choose you don't go for Karl Franz, you go for Balthasar. Well, they say, that doesn't mean Karl Franz doesn't exist in the world. He's still going to be present. And I mean, look at that smile. How can you not want that to be present? But anyways, yeah, they say the official race leaders, so that's presumably Karl Franz, things like that, Thorgrim Grudgebear, are going to be in the game no matter what. You can interact with them in diplomacy, and later in the campaign, they can even join your efforts if you want, which is awesome. Next, they go ahead and talk about the mounts. So you can unlock mounts in the skill tree, rank up to that, get them in quests and whatnot. And then you can also, on the battlefield, toggle between your mounts. And they say here, you have to choose carefully, because if battle is joined and you're on your horse, then you're going to be on the battlefield in your horse and you can't dismount or anything like that. So that would seem to indicate that having different mounts not only affects your battlefield playing, but also probably on the campaign. If you have a horse, perhaps you can go quicker. If you're a griffin, maybe a little slower, but then maybe you have more fear. So perhaps even the mounts will affect what it's like on the battlefield. Next, or on the campaign map. Next, they talk about battle standards. So battle standards here, there will be an opportunity to unlock, earn, or once again, steal magic banners for your armies. However, it's worth pointing out that these will be indicated in battle through a glorious or disgustingly, depending on your race, embellished banner indicated above the unit who is equipped. So look at the screen right there. Those magic banners are going to be sort of customized banners like that. They did say below that there are currently no plans to actually include physical banners waved by your individual units. Again, they want to focus on what they want to do right now. They don't have the time to animate that, but presumably that could be in a later title. So that's too bad that it won't be on the individual basis, but it's cool that it is represented overall, just floating above a unit, because as it veterans up, you want to be able to see that from a distance. And you can imagine, they did say grizzly. So perhaps if you are like a group of dwarf slayers, as you veteran up and you do more kills, perhaps you'll be able to adorn your banner with the heads of all the monsters you've killed. The head of a giant, the head of a dragon. So you can have these grisly figures, and then just imagine what one from the from the greenskins will look like. You have some orc war boys, and then mounted on top of their banner is a bunch of human corpses dangling around, or maybe even if you get the chaos, their banners are going to be super, super scary and grisly. So a lot more customization. I like it all around. It seems very cool. Just you can sense the flavor baked into everything, and there are going to be infinitesimal choices, it seems, to play out and customize your forces, which is I think what the historical Total War battles have, or Total War titles have missed in the past. And I really hope that when they go back and revisit a historical title, they use a lot of this in that, because take the Roman legions, for instance, in Rome 2. Those were cool. You could customization on the campaign map, but it never really manifested itself on the battlefield. if they go back and they revisit perhaps medieval, for instance, then maybe you can get some really cool banners. You can actually get some bannermen with your achievements. You'll have different armor and equipment and all sorts of cool stuff. I really, really like where the path that this Total War Warhammer is sort of forging for us, and I can't wait to hear how future titles, historical titles, will implement a lot of these changes. But anyways, this is going to be from the wiki. Make sure to check that out for the full details. I've only cut out a couple parts of this. This video has already run over 10 minutes. I have a couple more snippets that I'll be saving for additional videos in the future, so stay tuned for that. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.